wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is work.
What's going on, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, all the beautiful folks who are here. Thank you so much. We're back with another morning market pulse. I hope y'all are having a fantastic day as always. And guys, let's have a wonderful time. We got some prices going on. We got some Bitcoin happening. We're going to be looking at some altcoins. We're going to be checking out some news. There was a recent Uniswap pump. So we're just going to be diving into all of that today and some more. And of course, if y'all see anything as well that you would like me to discuss, feel free to throw it in the chat. Feel free to throw it in the chat. Again, I will be more than happy to check out the super chats as well when they come through if I happen to miss some of the quotes as they come along. But I hope y'all, again, having a fantastic day. There's some wild noise going on. Okay, how about now? Gotcha, okay, cool. So, yeah, for whatever reason, the little audio thing was messing up on mine. And I was like, well, at least we'll play the music for you to hear. And it seems like it doesn't want to play that at all. Still there. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Let me know how that is. All right, perfect. Crypto Cleo, thank you so much for the heads up on that one. What's up, Westcott? Dude, wild. So it actually was Spotify causing the issue. Interesting. All right, cool. Well, good to know. It's always fun. It's always interesting. It's always happening. We're always trying to make it a little bit better every single day. So I tried throwing some music going on in the background. But hey, if we don't need the music, we don't need the music. We're just going to have fun looking at some charts, checking it all out. I appreciate it as well. Thank you for the heads up. I'm glad I didn't get too far into the stream while you know how it goes sometimes. Things get a little bit crazy. So once again, we got the morning market pulse happening right now. Bitcoin still above $50,000. We're going to be seeing what's going on with that, checking out the total market cap for the overall ecosystem with Bitcoin, with Ethereum, excluding Bitcoin, excluding Ethereum and altcoins, checking it all out as well. Of course, diving into Pulse Chain, HEX, PLSX, and diving into those tokens as well. So without further ado, folks, let's have some fun checking out Bitcoin. All right, Bitcoin sitting at $51,099 at this point in time. Again, this is on the monthly candle, so it is interesting to see that we have been in a nice little parallel channel. Basically, if you go back since the September timeframe of 2022, and we've just kind of held within this parallel channel within that time frame. So ideally, we would keep on going, probably play within the parallel channel, come back down. We've talked about it previously as well, how Bitcoin is going to be somewhere in the ballpark of the 786 level, which typically when things do touch the 786 level on a fib retracement pullback, things like to do a little bit of a pullback as well. So I got the Bitcoin halving happening mid-April. I know I moved this sucker. We're going to move it again. Oh, because it's on the monthly. That makes sense. So we got the Bitcoin halving happening mid-April at this point in time. It looks like April 16th. And again, if y'all aren't familiar with the halving cycle, the Bitcoin miners are paid a certain amount of Bitcoin to protect and secure the network by being a proof of work system. And so right now they're getting paid roughly around 12.5 Bitcoin each time they get the figure out the computation to get it done. And then coming up next year, it's going to be down to 6. So that typically is a big sell-off. It becomes that much harder to actually earn Bitcoin as a miner. It becomes that much harder because it becomes that much more difficult to figure out the computational algorithm in order to actually decipher it. So long story short, people are going to be selling a whole bunch of their stuff, a whole bunch of their computers. Mining isn't really so profitable anymore like it once was, because in the early days of Bitcoin, you would just be able to open up your computer, and if you had a decent enough computer, you could actually mine 50 Bitcoin per block. And that's exactly what a lot of people did. They continued doing that, and then it went to 25 and then to 12, and so we just kind of see it happening here, right? So it was basically that whole system where they just kept doing it. And now it's going to be going down to 6 Bitcoin per block that someone's going to be mining. But again, it becomes that much less profitable because you may not be the person who gets it. However, you still have to pay for the electricity. You still have to pay for the software. You still have to pay for everything there as well. We've talked about the stochastic RSI, and I've used this in reference to where things have gone in the past. It is interesting why that sound is continuing to make just such an odd noise. I'm enjoying your show. Appreciate that, Attila. So I can definitely see the chart coming all the way back down once again. We've talked about this on numerous times, so we're going to see how it all plays out on the monthly. Things are still looking pretty green, pretty bullish on this one. I can see a retracement maybe like this, maybe a little bit further. Maybe it goes sideways for a little bit, so we actually were to go here and basically pull this exact chart. This is kind of what I can see happening, right? The chart's happening right now. We get a little bit of a pullback. It comes down probably into the 40K, 30K range is even possible as well. Things like to retouch the 618 level. So we're going to see how this is going to play out in the future. For now, that's not really something too much concern about, but the stochastic RSI is showing that this is currently in an overbought situation, meaning that there is going to be probably likely some doom coming up in the near future. Now, if we were to pull up the 200 EMA on this one, let me actually pull up this. Double EMA. And let's just switch this to the 200. All right, double EMA is not the way to go. I'm just going to do the simple EMA or simple EMA on this one. Or just a regular moving average. How about that? We're going to do cross, 50, 200. These are what I like to use for my indicators to kind of see what's going on in the grand scheme of things. And once again, we don't have 200 monthly candles. That makes sense. That would be crazy if you got a 200 on the monthly. On the weekly, folks, it has crossed on this one. This is a golden cross situation. We've talked about this in the past as well. When things like to do this on Bitcoin, it is typically a bullish signal. There's a lot of differences happening in the overall grand scheme of things, so it's interesting to see which way it's going to play out. We did get to see it go down bearish for a while at this point in time. We actually had it go below the 200 moving average, which is pretty wild as well. That's typically pretty bearish. But we actually flipped out of that, retested out the 618, pushed above the 618, played within this golden pocket range for a while, and then it actually broke out above the 786. Now again, when things like to do this, it is a very common occurrence that we're going to get some pullback. So I would probably see it come back into this, at least this range right here, right into the 40K range. It looks like there's plenty of support as well around this 40K range. So we're going to see how it's going to play out overall. But again, this is super bullish, guys. This is actually very bullish on a weekly 5,200. That's very, very bullish, y'all. So it's something to keep in mind. Again, the stochastic RSI on the weekly, kind of in a similar situation, just kind of like doesn't really know what to do. It's not really going one way or another just yet. So my expectation is we're probably going down on Bitcoin for the near term future before it likes to do the full run up into the halving. So we got the halving happening around mid-April. This is where I could see the halving going through. We play sideways for a little bit, probably play in this little range, figure out what it wants to do, and then it actually has a full-on pump. Now, this is weekly, so it won't go all the way until October, but I can definitely see it coming in this sideways action until July, maybe even August, somewhere in this little time frame before it decides to start making new all-time highs. This is definitely going to be something we're going to be checking out as we progress forward into the future. Just wanted to share that with everyone once again. We have Ethereum sitting in a similar situation with its 5,200 going on a nice little golden cross situation here. These are bullish indicators overall. So these are kind of what I'm seeing on the grand scheme of things. We have actually broken below the 200 MA. We actually broke back above it. So ideally we want to maintain that level of support if it does decide to come down because of correlation with Bitcoin. I can definitely see that being the case too. Bitcoin and Ethereum are definitely heavily correlated as well. And so it looks like there's going to be some sell the news situation happening. Hold on. I don't know if y'all can hear the chaos going out there right now. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. Chaos is happening for sure. All right. Well, let me say what's up. What happened?
Zan just came around and started screaming at the dogs. I know.
That was Zan?
That was Zan.
Okay. I thought that was Delta for whatever reason. Woo! All right, cool.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all actually heard that. That's why I can't stream. Yeah, sometimes it's just how it goes sometimes, right? It's just part of the life and part of the life of a streamer for sure. What's the best buy-in? The RH coins today. Today, the best buy option, it looks like it's still going to be anywhere of the hex side of things. If you go check out gopulse.com, you can actually find out this information just by simply seeing which one's been performing in the last 30 days is kind of what I'm seeing. Even the last 7, they have a similar situation for this where it's 15, 15, 14, somewhere in that little range. So the 7-day doesn't really kind of tell me which way I want to go. The last 24 hours, they're around the same, 3%, 3%, 3%. But the last 30 days, Pulse has gone up 14%. PLSX has gone up 20%, Inc has gone up 40%, and then Hex is sitting in the ballpark of negative 1.5. So that in the last 30 days would still be the best buying opportunity. Hex on Pulse Chain has now gone down to 2086. Let me actually see if I can use hexscout.com. Maybe it'll be easier to see the prices as, again, my head just happens to be perfectly in the way. So last 30 days, you got, again, Pulse sitting right here. Let me make sure we're all refreshed on this page once again. So that way we can actually check it all out. So hexscout.com, shout out to them. We have the Pulse Train price sitting at 301268. Again, within the... I don't think that's correct for the 30-day, obviously. Because the 30-day has been up on Pulse Chain. I wonder, so I don't know if I can actually use that reliably. Let me know y'all's thoughts on that. Maybe I'm missing something here. Because we already know in the last 30 days, Pulse Chain, PulseX, Incentive Token, they're all up. You can look at the actual chart and see it all for yourself right here. Right? Last 30 days, today is the 23rd of February. So if we go to the 23rd of January, right here, yeah, we're actually up right about 30%. So interesting that Hex Scout is showing the 30-day right here at a negative 3.3. Wonder why they're doing that. Maybe you let me know. Maybe y'all understand. But I would definitely say at this point in time, the Hex is looking like the best bang for the buck if you're going to be allocating any of the portion of the tokens. However, we've talked about this so many times in the past. You have a layer 1 token brand new to the ecosystem. It's been out less than 9 months or less than 10 months. And so at this point in time, you know, you're still buying a layer 1 token with something like this. It hasn't reached its previous all-time high. Even going back to the previous all-time high is a quick little 2x gain from there. So you're seeing it's about 2.3% on that one, or 2.3x on that one. So that's kind of what I'm seeing. Now, looking at the actual chart, though, we actually have essentially broken out of this ascending wedge that we were forming at this point in time. So we're going to be seeing which way it really wants to go at this point. The stochastic RSI is in an oversold situation. I would be saying that typically when we see it in an oversold situation, as I've pointed out in the past, we do get some bullish action that actually ensues thereafter. And even after that, you see it fall back below the stochastic RSI, and then we got some bullish action that ensued after. Now, usually within this range, it's usually about a week, right? So you can see from here is February 4th to February 4th to February 8th. We got January 23rd to January 29th. You can go back as well. We're at January 1st up to January 7th. So it doesn't like to stay in this range for too long, assuming that we can actually get that out and start pumping. We've been in a nice little pump since the last few months for sure. Let me actually extend this down just a smidge just to see if we can make some adjustments here. Love you. All right, and so that's kind of what I'm going to be seeing. However, the 915 EMA are doing a bearish cross at this point in time, right? This is typically not really good, right? Like, again, I've said this in the past, when you do end up getting a situation where you actually see it right here and it actually crosses, anytime that you can look back in the past on Pulse Chain, for example. Let me just kind of zoom on in some of this. Anytime that you can go back in the past on this, when it has crossed and it actually went down, yes, it may have only lasted a few days in this situation before a nice little rally, but typically when it does cross like this, it can stay down for, you know, maybe even a full month. So it just depends on which way the market really wants to take it. We've had situations happen both ways. This one was 9 days. Going back and looking from here, this is going all the way back to the SEC FUD situation that went through, and it actually had an impact on the price. It actually flipped into a bearish at that point in time, and it was basically bearish for the next 55 to 60 days. So almost 2 months for this to get out. Now, again, that was actually bigger FUD. That was actually bigger FUD. So I think that bearish made a little bit more sense. However, this one right here, I can definitely see it a situation where it just goes sideways for 30 days, right? It doesn't always have to end up going fast, but that's what I'm paying attention to whenever I'm looking at this kind of chart right here. That's what I'm paying attention to whenever I see that 9 EMA cross the 15 EMA. And again, we do want to maintain this level of support, and we do want to start breaking through these previous local tops. Now, we are at this point in time still making higher highs and higher lows, so I'm not too concerned at this point. When we start breaking below the lower lows, like say we actually form a low down here and it actually ends up reaching this point and bouncing off, that typically is very bearish as well. So if it does get down into this level, it may even come back and retest the SAC price. This is definitely a level of psychological resistance and support. So we would probably see it come back down and bounce off. But again, if you start making lower lows, it usually doesn't end up just bouncing off. The bounce off occurrences, we haven't really seen those in the crypto world too much recently, right? Like you had this happen where it actually just kind of went up and shot up, and it kind of had a little pullback and then shot up again. Right? That's more or less just like the wave of how that all went down. So yeah, it depends on which way it wants to go. We would actually get a little like ABC wave right here before it goes through the little correction, right? Like at this point in time, that's basically what we're going through. Now, again, the ABC is kind of what I'm leaning toward. If it actually wanted to do that, we got ABC, and then we get some little correction, sideways action. We get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that could be doing it again. And then it could go down into another ABC. So if it goes ABC, it could just fly up, right? And so if it wants to go through and just do an ABC correction, it just depends on which way it wants to go, folks. It can go A, B, and C and go down. Again, we do not want to see lower lows. I'm telling you right now, if you see lower lows, just be ready to deploy that additional capital that you actually, hopefully, have been waiting for this dip to occur. Because that's how you take advantage of when the market is red and when there's blood in the streets. How are you going to actually take effect and take an impact on it all as well? So, let me check out something real quick. Give me 1 second here. My chart. Scene. Say hello to some more beautiful people. Hit the like for sure. Attila, thank you so much. I'm enjoying your show. Good job. Best buying RH tokens. Pump right now for sure. That's why I can't stream. Lol. Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for streaming ATX, of course. Salute to you, Benny Davis. Salute to all the Patreon members as well. And you know what? Let me actually just throw on a little Patreon shout out real quick. Here we go.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints, money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that.
All right, and we're back, boys and girls, and we're back on this one as well. Hello, future millionaires 100 for sure. What's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon for sure. I don't mind the dip. Looking long term, this is a good buy-in for sure. Hit the like and subscribe. Thank you so much, Westcott, for sure. We got Spriggs as well. Again, guys, this is what I'm talking about. We got so much love and support in the ecosystem. I wanted to share these charts and all the information for anyone who's just looking out there as well, because the gas fees on Ethereum alone are just absolutely ludicrous. You can find this information out when you go to gopulse.com. Check out the gas fees of where they're actually sitting right now. If I was to pull up the Ethereum network and actually see what the actual gas fees are right now, do I have the tab open up here? Right here. So this is actually going to refresh and see what the current gas fee is for Ethereum. 40 Gwei, like that's crazy, y'all. That is absolutely high. In order to send a transaction, it's going to swap $40. It's going to cost you to swap. Like, you can't do much with this unless you're coming in with some serious capital, right? However, you go to Pulse Chain, you can transact for 3,400x cheaper than you can on Ethereum right now. Literally, it costs $37 to swap, $2 to send an Ethereum, $7 to send an ERC20. That is very high, folks. To do anything on the Bitcoin network, it's 2,400 times cheaper to transact on the Ethereum network as well. Okay, so it literally would cost you $2 just to send a Bitcoin somewhere. You can actually come into the Pulse Chain network and do all of your transactions on here and just bridge it on back. Super free, super inexpensive. Do your daily purchases on this item here for Pulse Chain. You can see we're cheaper than all the blockchains, my friends, my family, and my fellow crypto entrepreneurs. The 5 Ps are going to save us as well. The proper preparation, preventing poor performance. It's 83x cheaper than an Avalanche, 36 times cheaper than Binance, 30x cheaper than Kronos, 10x cheaper than Zcash, 10x cheaper than Arbitrum, 4x cheaper than Dogecoin. Come on, guys. Come on. Come on. If you're looking to transact, this is a network to do it on for sure, for sure. You can see people are definitely bridging over plenty of money. There's been $136 million bridged in and only 7 million bridged out. People are coming to the Pulse Chain ecosystem all day as well. You can actually see the activity and see just the overall massive information of activity for people to transact. There's been 103 million transactions and it's only been since May, y'all. Right? We haven't even made it a full year yet. And you're seeing more transactions than you do on many other blockchains that are out there. The daily activity for sure is something you should be paying attention to, but active wallets is always important too. There's 860,000 unique addresses since May 13th, my friends, my fellow Pulse Nation, Pulse Chain ecosystempreneurs, right? So something to be paying attention to. The active wallets are always going up. They're always increasing. It's something that has been happening for a very long time. You can just see, even when we're in the bear zone, there were still 10,000 active wallets every day. Plenty of stuff to be happening. And this is all found on gopulse.com. You can become a validator, and you can see we got validators. This is a number that has also been constantly increasing. It looks like it actually has gone down a smidge, so we didn't quite reach the 53,000 validators at this point. And then from this point in time, it looks like a few other people are starting to either close out their validators to recoup some of the money that they have, or they wanted to swap the tokens, or they've earned the yield that they wanted to earn. But at this point in time, you can earn 10% on your Pulse right now. Now, it does cost you money to set up a validator. You can go to validatorstore.com. You can also use plenty of people who are here, but just anticipate that it's probably going to run you about $2,500 if you don't already have a setup to run the validator. Because you do want to make sure it stays up and running, stays constant, is always connected, has good internet connection. It's work, guys. It's work to become a validator. If you don't feel like you want to participate in that, you don't have to. But so far, there's been 1.6 trillion Pulse chain staked as all the validators who are out there, which at this point in time is sitting in the ballpark of 212 million, just sitting there right now. Again, the average validator balance is around $4,000 because it does cost you 32 million Pulse to actually open up a validator. It's not like the ETH network where it's going to cost, you know, 32 Ethereum to become a validator, which at this point on these prices, when you start getting into the ETH, 32 Ethereum times 3,000, that's quite a bit, right? That's going to be costing you $96,000 just to become a validator on the Ethereum side. And you can become and again, the validator on the Ethereum side isn't even paying 10%, by the way, right? So it actually is paying less than 10%. So you can become a validator on Pulse Chain, get paid 10% yield. Incredible, folks. Incredible, incredible, incredible. It's available for everyone. People are having to give up their Ethereum to lock it in pools to try to earn some fees, and that's just not the way you want to go in crypto. You do not give away your crypto to anyone else, folks. It's as simple as that. Do not give away your crypto to anyone else. Looking at the overall markets for the S&P 500, it's still hitting its previous highs. Again, it's making new all-time highs, as a matter of fact. I do see this having a pullback, y'all. I definitely can see this doing a nice little pullback because, I mean, this thing has just been on an absolute tear. We can go on monthly here because this thing's been out for a hot minute. But this is one of those that because you start getting all the interactions from all the way back in 1929, you can actually get, let me pull a little fib on this one. You can see we actually are basically in a situation where we're hitting this 4236 level. And this 4236 level is not a good level to be hitting, y'all. That's when doom and gloom typically happens. That's when pullbacks happen. So on the overall stock market, while there is some pumps, I wouldn't be trying to short anything right now by any means. It's just to be letting y'all know what's going on with this. Again, stochastic RSI, an overbought situation. This is danger zone for sure, because then you start mixing and matching the two together, where you start looking at the Bitcoin chart as well, and we're in the 786 level on this one, and that is typically when you get a pullback in this one. We haven't hit the Bitcoin halving yet. All of it's kind of shaping up to see some pullback in the overall market, so just be ready. A heads up on that for everyone. Now, could it continue? For sure. Who really knows how it's all going to end up playing out? We'll have to wait and see on this one to see how it's all going to play out. But it's definitely some food for thought for every single one of y'all who are here. And yeah, anyone who's sitting here on the Dow Jones, sitting at 39,000 at this point in time for the Dow, still making its new all-time high. When things are all making new all-time high and everyone's in profit, it's pretty common that you're going to end up seeing some pullback of some caliber, some degree, right? And yeah, let me see what's going on with the chat real quick. Say hello to some more beautiful people. Hey, yo, I'm late. It's all good, my friends. I don't mind the dip looking long term. This is a good buy-in for sure. Fire song, appreciate that. Hey, yo, what's up, A-Fam? Urban Productions, Cookie de Chocolata. Good to see everybody. Pulse Chain AltCoin Talk. Did you see the Trump token on Pulse? No. They bonded it to all the RH tokens. And it has, did a 500x. Yeah, I mean, power of bonding. Yeah, I mean, but Pulse and all the ecosystem is down right now, so a little funny that, you know, that would happen. I am always cautious as all can be, folks. When there's a new token that gets launched, you can go to Dex Screener and you can come in here and just type in Pulse Chain, for example, look at new pairs, and maybe this is one of those that just recently came out. But these new pairs, some of them will do well for a little bit, very low liquidity on this side for these tokens, and then a lot of them will do shit like this: rug pull, rug pull, rug pull, right? Rug pull on this one, rug pull, rug pull, rug pull. I mean, I don't even know how many. There's 15 rug pulls that I'm literally looking at right here. That's not necessarily something I want to be messing with at that point in time. So no, I guess I haven't seen it. You know, it's probably something. Here's what I like to do. If y'all have ever done this as well. So is it called Trump? Is it called something else? Let me know what the token's called real fast as well. He said Trump. Trump. WPLS. Let's see if we can look it up this way. I see Trump WWE. Here you go, Trump. I assume this is the one right here. Donald Trump. Here's what I like to do. So this is that way y'all can kind of see what is a fun little way of doing it. But this is what a new coin looks like. You get a massive little run up. And again, that, you know, the move was so big there, it doesn't even count at all right there. So let's just kind of actually pull this up right here. You get a massive run up. And yeah, this one ended up doing 600%. Now, what the liquidity looks like, we can dive in as well. Appreciate the subscribe as well, Ben Wilson. We have this one down here where you can actually see how the overall chart did. And what I like to do is I like to show exactly where it was whenever I first found the chart. Because sometimes for S's and G's, I'll come back to some of this stuff. This can't be the token you're talking about. This is a daily. This is 29 days. Maybe this is the token you were talking about. I don't know. Let me know if it was or if it's not. Maybe it is. But what I like to do is I like to pull up this exact chart and just see, cool, let me come back to this a week from now and see what happened with that token. You don't have to FOMO in with your actual money. Yeah, well, while you can get some gains and some appreciation, I personally don't mess with trash like this, and I don't try to go seek for the new meme coin of the day, because y'all saw how quick it happens. You literally go in here, you click on these new pairs, and you just see all these people are creating new tokens like crazy, okay? And because they're creating so many new tokens like crazy, so many of them just straight up rug. You get a rug here, you get a rug here, you get a rug here. I mean, you can see how many rugs that have already happened. Just this is the top 100 new tokens who have just launched. Minus 99.93 might as well be a rug. Minus 80%, 90%. You know what I mean? Like, you're giving up, you're trading something, and a lot of y'all, maybe not y'all, but a lot of people are trading their core tokens to get into some of these tokens. So if you're coming in with fresh capital being like, I don't want to trade any of the Pulse or PLSX that I have, I don't want to buy any at this point in time, I want to take a little risk, you throw in something on these little coins, next thing you know, you could have just bought Pulse, PLSX, and HEX in my opinion. But if you wanted to, people are trading out of their Pulse thinking they're going to be able to go buy in some more Pulse, and then you go lose 77% of the value right away. Or you lose all the value right away, right? Like, it's just not worth it to me personally. So that's kind of what I do. And again, if y'all have ever done this, this is something fun to do. Be like, oh, Floki, what is this one about? It's got AI in the name. That's cool. And then you just pull up on this like 1 hour chart and say, okay, well, it's done a massive run up. And all you do, I don't have to buy in. I just like to go right in here and say, this is where I saw it at. And I bet you by next week, if I was to pull up this particular chart again, my guess is it's going to be sitting somewhere in the ballpark of down here, right? And again, like, I don't really have to get crazy technical with it. There's no good reason as to what this token does. There's no benefit to it. And it's just another new meme coin of the day that people are trying to throw in. Like, this happened with the ICO phase. This happened with the ICO phase in Ethereum. Whenever Ethereum first launched in, what was it, 2017? 2015? Ethereum launched in 2015, yeah. So when Ethereum first launched, it was this whole ICO phase because people were like, hey, I can create a new meme coin right now. I can create a token within 5-10 minutes. It's not even that difficult. All I gotta do is just provide a little bit of liquidity. All I gotta do is just do something here. And people were just creating tokens at the wazoo. But the crazier part was the venture capitalists out there were all just giving money to whatever they possibly could. There was a token called Ponzi token, for Christ's sake. Literally called Ponzi token. Folks, Ponzi token, right? And they still raised, I think it was like $250,000. Like, just something absolutely wild, right? That's crazy. And guess what happened with that token? It went to shit. Like, surprise, surprise. But they were like, hey, this is no different than all the other 99% of the ICO tokens who are here. We're just being transparent with what we're calling it. But people are coming out with these tokens like fucking crazy, right? They were just pumping these new coins. People were dumping so much money into it. And then next thing you know, they just would lose it all. They kept losing it all. They kept losing it all. And it's just a wild time situation, but that's kind of what's happening with these new meme coins of the day situation. There could be some fun exhilaration. There could be some dopamine hits that you may have been missing that you just feel like you just need to have. But like, this is how it works, guys. This is exactly how it goes. This is the latest one in Pulse Chain right here, the PTP, right? And so like, here's what, just for S's and G's, we can always pull this up later. I put this on a chart and say, this is where I found it. I don't care how many percentages is done. I don't care about that information, right? And it's because if you actually go look at this chart in particular, this one has 320,000 in liquidity, so it's lower liquidity with still some. But a lot of the times there's like $6,000 in liquidity and just trash. So you're having to come in, look at the purchases that are being made here. See, like, these are bigger or heavier because it's 300,000, but you can't even get a $1,000 purchase. No one's even selling 1,000. Not one person. There's a 5,000 one here, and I bet you this person took some slippage, right? Because that's how it goes when you have these low liquidity tokens. You're having to put in just pennies, dollars, fractions of dollars, just to try to see if you can capture a 10x, 20x, 30. I don't know what you're doing. Like, you're hoping to turn $10 into, you know, $200, and so that way you can go buy more Pulse. I just don't. I don't get it. I don't get it. Maybe I'm wrong. That's just me. I just share my thoughts. That's kind of what's going on there. All right? Yeah, exactly. There was literally a token called Ponzi token. Yeah, Ratchet Hour says ETH gas fees are wild. Yeah, they suck, dude. I showed this on stream the other day, but there was a stake that I had that ended that I had from 2 years ago, and I had staked 1,300 hex on the Ethereum side. It was going to cost me anywhere between $150 to $500 to end the stake, depending upon what the GWI was. And with GWI around 40 right now, it's probably in the closer ballpark of like 200, 250 to end the stake. And the stake was only worth an equivalent of like $14, $15 for the amount of hex. It was a 1,700 hex that I was able to accrue, so I got an extra 20-30% hex, which was incredible. But to end that stake, it was going to cost me, you know, 10 times the amount that I actually had, even the value of that token. So because of that, I just went on the open market, and you could just buy that hex for that amount. Like, why would I spend $300 to end the stake whenever I can literally just go on Pulse Chain, buy $15 worth of Ethereum hex over there, and then whenever I feel like staking that, be ready, be prepared. So I did a few stakes that I did like that for a while, because why not? I was just like, hey man, the price could be XYZ in the future. Because I was seeing doubles on doubles on doubles on doubles on doubles on doubles. In your mind, when you start seeing that, it doesn't really function the same way it always does. So just keep that in mind when you do start seeing the gains from Pulse Chain, PulseX, and Hex. Try to maintain your mentality and sensibility in there, your rationality in there. Because then your mind starts going to some crazy places, and you're like, dude, this thing's gonna hit, you know, $100 by the end of 2021. And you know, you're at 50 cents, by the way, right? And so like, that's how your mind works. Though this thing was doing a double every 40 days. It was just wild. It was like double, 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 and you just kept doing it. And so I did small stakes, and one of them, I ended it on the Ethereum side, or I didn't end it on the Ethereum side, because it was going to cost me like $200, $300. I went and did that same exact stake because it got duplicated when Pulse Chain launched. By the way, for those of y'all who are new to the channel and new to Pulse Chain, maybe you have some Ethereum that you held back on May 13th of 2022 or 2023. If you had anything on the ETH network during that time, the launch of Pulse Chain forked over everything. So whatever you were holding got copied. Well worth a chance to check out what you were holding and see what you got. So all my stakes got duplicated as well. And if you had NFTs, they were duplicated. And if you had any crypto, ERC20, ERC721, they were all duplicated and forked when the fork happened. So on that day, the amount that it would cost me to end it for the Pulse Chain network was somewhere in the ballpark of like 2 pennies. It was absolutely so much better, right? So unless you're doing bigger stakes, and by bigger stakes I do mean somewhere in the ballpark of 100K plus type situation for your hex to get staked short term, be careful playing that game, because the ETH fees may just eat you alive. And if you want to go long on shorter stakes, like I have one stake that I did, I think it was probably in the ballpark of 1,000 hex, and I sent it out 15 years. But if by the time 15 years comes by and hex is at $2, $10, $5, $50, whatever it may possibly be at in the future, during that time, then all the hex that I would have accrued as well is going to pay for the gas fees. It's going to make sense, right? And of course, all the gains that we're going to make during the 15-year period as well. So it's just something to be thinking about. Let me see what's going on with chat. Yo, Cookie says I onboarded a family member yesterday into Pulse. Congrats. Yeah, ETH gas fees are wild. The ticker is Trump. Okay. Launched 2 weeks ago or so. Yeah, it's Donald Trump, lol. Okay. I mean, the one was 30 days old, so it may have been the same. I'm sticking the core bag. I'm sticking with the core bag. No need for the extra gamble on top of already waiting on the possibility of the core tokens rising. Don't forget to hit the likes. Appreciate that, Benny. Only meme coin I ever had some hope in on Pulse Chain was the P Pepe, and that was even hyped by RH a bit. But forget that. I'm not risking my bags on endless memes. Yeah, exactly. Like, some people are able to manage to stop themselves from continuing, but once the degen door opens, it's a slippery slope down degen behaviors, right? You get into things like ratio trading in the beginning. I'm going to ratio trade these tokens for each other. Then you start doing, maybe yield farming. And then you're like, okay, I just need to earn more money faster. And so instead of doing the yield farms on PulseX, you start doing yield farms everywhere else. And then you end up finding out that that was a terrible decision. But you need to make money faster, right? You just need to make it faster. You just need to make it faster. So then you start looking for the hype coins that maybe some of the influencers have talked about. And so you start, okay, let me dive into some of these tokens. And then you just continue to go down that slippery slope of rabbit hole where next thing you know, your core portfolio is less than 10% and you're basically 90% degen plays at that point in time. And you don't even realize it. It happens so quick, but it goes down this slippery slope of degen and it's very tough to shut off. Very tough, y'all. Trading is a terrible behavior. It's very stressful on your health, on your wealth, on your life expectancy in general. The amount of stress that you put on yourself by trading, absolutely wild. What's an easier way of doing it? Buy and hold, right? Like, nothing wrong with that. It's boring as all can be sometimes, but when at the end of it, you look back, you say that was the best play I could have possibly made, right? Like, how much money do you really need? If you had it to where you got $50 million at the end of this bull cycle, or you had $80 million, but you had to take the risk, the stress, and everything like that, like, was it really all that worth it? Because at the same time, you may have gone down from 50 and you could actually be sitting only on $2 million because of your bad behaviors and plays. And so you could have had something that was $50 million, but now you're sitting on 2. Like, what kind of money do you really need to make in all reality? And that's what I kind of find hilarious sometimes, how people absolutely get caught up in that world. Ponzi token, lol. Because they were transparent about it. They were like, hey, we're a Ponzi token. Yo, that's funny. Pothead. He says, join my sacrifice for the Pothead coin. It's going to the moon. I will smoke away all your money. It's okay, ATX. If I get rugged, I can just ask the community to bail me out. Yo, I said this yesterday too. Don't be bailing people out. Let them learn. It's a lesson that everyone has to learn. I don't care what kind of work they've done. I don't care the ability and all the stuff that they've put in. If they do something so stupid that they end up losing their tokens and then asking you to bail them out, fuck that. No way. No way. They can piss right off with that nonsense. Oh, shoot. Like, you hear that kind of nonsense, but it happens, y'all. It literally has happened. Just recently in the ecosystem of Pulse Chain, someone went and lost their self some Pulse, and next thing you know, they're like, well, I didn't ask my friend that. Dude, don't be playing that nonsense, man. Don't even be playing that nonsense. That's garbage. It's not up to the community to bail you out. Take it as a learning lesson. Start from the beginning again if you ended up losing it all. It sucks, for sure, but these prices are still on a very good level. Years of work just gone down the drain because you got impatient. Years. We've had to wait 2+ years to get to where we are right now, right? From the sacrifice point to now. You've had to wait during all that time. And then you get bored. You get impatient. You want to get gains faster. And so you put your stuff in terrible projects that take all your tokens and rug all your coins. Shit. Good luck. Lesson learned. Start from the beginning again. That's how it goes, though. That's how it should go. That's how everyone should treat that as well. When you see that kind of stuff, don't accept that kind of behavior. Can anyone bail me out? No, I don't think RH ever hyped Pepe, but I'm sure he said that all the Pepe guys and all the NFT bros are all going to have it on Pulse Chain. All right. This is a fun lesson, so let's just take a little gander at it. Let's just see real quick. Yeah, let me just pull this up. This is how this goes. You say, oh shit, this is always. Let me just kind of show you how this goes, y'all. You start here. New meme coin comes out. Pepe. Pulse Chain launch, right? Pepe comes out. And they're like, oh shit, guys. Pepe's on Pulse Chain. Pepe's on Pulse Chain. All your favorite influencers start shilling it. All the fucking people start promoting it. Everyone starts getting so hyped with it. And so they come in here and they say, this is crazy, guys. A 22x in 7 days. Don't miss out. Don't miss out. Don't miss out. And then it proceeds to do a dump. Now, again, this is very common. So you see the first dump and you're like, all right, cool. You see the first dump, people want to sell their positions. They've exited, they've done whatever. But this dump alone was 80%. So when do people start getting in and when do people start talking about this stuff? When it's all the way up here, y'all. When it's all the way in this range, in this zone. You don't hear about this stuff when it's down here. You hear about it whenever they've already made their 10x gain. Like, guys, I've made so much money. You should check it out too. Not financial advice. And then next thing you know, it just fucking dumps. So you get in right here because you're like, well, shit. This thing has continued to go. I'll get in. And then it just proceeds to dump for the next 17 days. And then you get a little bit of a, little bit of a relief. And you're like, all right, cool. Woo. It came back. Guys, it's back. We're back, y'all. We're back. And this is exactly how it goes, y'all. We're back, baby. Right? It's up 12x. We're back. We're back. And then it's down because all the people start promoting, start shilling, and then it just goes down. And then it does nothing but go down. And then continue to go down and down and down and down. Right? Like this is what the chart looks like now, y'all. By the way. This is down here. Now you're down 95%. So you lost 80% here. If you decided to sell, most people panic sell because they're like, well, shit, I'll just get out. And so you end up panic selling somewhere in this ballpark. And then it just has a nice little run up. And then what do people start doing again? They start getting FOMO. They start missing out. They're like, dude, it's already done a run up. I don't want to miss out. And so they may get like a 2-3x gain. They don't sell because they think it's going to continue to go. And then you get nothing but a fucking dip that continues to be a dip over and over and over, and now you lost 95% of the bag, right? Like even right now, from where it currently sits at, still 90% down. That's where it currently sits right now. That's how meme coin goes. This is meme coins all day. This is exactly what the cycle looks like, y'all. This is a meme coin cycle right here. If you're not familiar with meme tokens, if you're not familiar with how to exit the position, if you're not familiar with getting out your position on doubles, because again, guys, you're going to get the mentality of holding. So we talk about hold, hodl, hold, hodl, hold. Next thing you know, you have that mentality stuck in your head. So you see a 2x gain on these meme tokens and you're like, bro, this is the one that's going to the fucking moon. So you hold, you do nothing. Then you lose 95% of the portfolio. Then you're bag holding. Then you're left literally holding a fucking bag of a token that may or may not ever come back. And that's meme coins all day. This is how it goes. What's up, El Prescelto? How you doing, my boy? Caught one live, sure did. Now ATX has convinced you otherwise. Oh shoot, y'all too funny. Not gonna lie, I was told about Pepe Day 1, LOL on ETH, did not interact. It's tough not degenning sometimes. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's sure, because you see people making money. And what is your token doing that you're holding? Not making money. And so the ability to stop yourself from doing something becomes that much more difficult. And the louder these people get on Twitter, on YouTube, promoting other projects, the harder it becomes for you to just, you know, put that to the side and not do anything. All right, because what happens is you literally in a situation where you're like, dude, I'm not getting in, and then you see it go and you see it do a 10x, and you hear everyone do, I've 10x this, and then you see it, you know, go and do another 20x, and you're like, well, fuck, dude, this thing's gone and done a 20x. Well, my coin maybe only went up 10%, right? Like, I haven't even done a 2x yet. I don't know. And then, like, for whatever reason, man, that weird little thing that in your gut told you not to do it, you shut off. And as soon as you shut it off, the thing, you go in, you ape in, you do whatever it is that you do, and the thing just dumps. And again, you're like, man, I knew I shouldn't have done that, but I couldn't resist. Like, oh, shoot. Yeah, exactly. It is tough, man. I'm not, like, guys, I'm not saying it's easy to just be bored, right? Like, doing nothing sometimes is the hardest thing to do. Straight up. And think about that for a second. Doing nothing sometimes is the most difficult thing to do. It's easy to go chase the new shiny candle. It's easy to go chase a new shiny object. It's easy to go get hyped up and have 50 different tokens at one time, trying to manage them all. And by the way, again, if y'all aren't selling on doubles and meme coins, then like, you're going to get caught holding a bag at some point, and you just don't want to be in a situation where you're caught holding a bag. Right? Let me see here. This is another one that just recently launched that a lot of people fucking hyped. Party. A lot of people hyped this token. It's going up! And then it just does nothing but dump, dude. Nothing but dump. So, what do? Draw a price right here. Boom, it's down 53%. And I know so many fools aped in on this. Aped in. So sad. So sad to see, man. Now, that was in the span of 4 days, by the way. Like, that's down 50% in the span of 4 days. Like, it's fast, y'all. It's extremely fast. So I do caution y'all just to be as careful as you possibly can. And we can come back and look at some of these charts later. I'm happy. The reason why I do it this way, I pull up on chart. So that way, if I ever want to go back in and be like, well, did I miss out on it? Or was it the right decision, right? Like, that's as simple as it gets for me. Did I miss out on it? Who cares? Did it do exactly like I thought it was going to do? Yep. And so you hear all these people hyping about it, and then next thing you know, it just fucking dumps, right? It just continues to dump, continues to dump, continues to dump, making new lower lows. So we've talked about this already in the past. You start making these new lower low situations. When you go below a low low, right? So when you go down here, you already broke below at that one. So you start making a new low down here. You broke below that one. You're down here. It's not good whenever you can't form a structure at that point in time. When you continue to make newer lows, not a good sign. Not good strength as well. Which is why for Pulse Chain, for example, we do want it to maintain a situation where it does maintain higher lows. Because if it does decide it wants to, for whatever reason, break down right here and break below this level, that is usually a bearish indicator, guys. Right? So if it decides to come down this level and it breaks below, be ready for some bearish energy to follow, right? Because lower lows is not good for a bullish situation. So just a heads up on how that actually ends up working, how it plays out as well. And I hope that makes some sense as well, because folks, it's definitely there. I noticed crypto is going up as you stream. Keep going. Lol, that's funny. That's when Sami starts talking about it. Lol. Yo, if you ain't checked out Disciple's latest clip, that shit was hilarious, man. Go follow Disciple for sure. Pulse Disciple. Too funny, man. AFAM says, all is well, sir. I'm breathing. for sure. Hope the same for you. What's up, Seven? Good to see you. When you work and take care of your family, this crypto stuff is easy. Snap up RH tokens, stop watching charts all day, and let the market. Again, if you could remove yourself from the situation completely, like stop looking at charts, stop getting on Twitter. If you remove yourself from the situation, you're going to feel less stress. You're going to feel less worry. You're going to feel less FUD. Because all the time when you're seeing on charts, it's just FUD everywhere, regardless of what's going on. Or there's fighting going on, or there's this going on, or this person doesn't agree with that thing, and blah, 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 blah. So if you can remove all that out of your life, this part becomes easy, because then you're like, dude, I'm holding this token for forever. Like any token that you were holding, Apple, Tesla, Nvidia, you're typically buying those things for years, right? Like you're not buying them for a quick flip after a couple of months. You're buying them for years. And how is that proven to work out for things like Apple, Tesla, Nvidia? It's done very well, right? Like Amazon's another one. So let's just pull up Amazon. Let's just pull up, let me just pull up some items here. Give me a sec, y'all. Tesla. Whoops. Tesla. Apple. All right, cool. So, oh, that's the ETH dominance there. We're gonna check out the Bitcoin dominance too. So, like this is how it works, guys. Whoops. This is how it works. It goes do. This is Amazon, by the way. You hold it for years. Like it doesn't matter that this sucker was sideways for how many days from all the way here to all the way here, basically sideways for almost 10 years. 3,600 days, y'all. Sideways. Now, granted, yeah, it was down, but it finally came back to this level 10 years later. And then from this moment, 10 years went by, it went up and did a whole 29x. Massive. Years. That's within the span. So you held for 10 years, you finally break even, and then the span of what, 5 years here? Or a little over 10 years again? You're way up, right? From 2010? Yeah. 2010 to 2014, 14 years. You're up. Congrats. But that's years, y'all. This is on monthly chart, by the way. You look at Tesla, same thing. You're not buying this token and buying this stock. Should I say it's not a token? You're not buying this stock to try to flip it when it does a 2x or something like that. You're holding it for years. That's the mentality that you get in when you buy it in the first place. You're like, dude, I can't wait to see what Tesla does a year, 2 years, 5 years from now. Hold Pulse Chain for a year, see what happens. Hold Hex for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, see what happens. You're going to be up. It's just my thought, just my guess. It's just how it works. You have a good positive asset that's here. Apple, similar situation. Years, y'all. Years. Okay? So it's like the mentality that people get in crypto, it's wild. Like it's just a different world in crypto, right? And I get it. Like things go fast. It's a lot faster. You don't have to worry about the years per se. You can, instead of seeing a 29x in 10 years or 14 years or however long that took for Apple or Amazon, you know, that's what I'm saying. That took plenty of time. And you're probably going to see a 30x in the span of less than 1 year. Right? Like you're doing something faster than anyone has ever done in the past, but you can't even make it the full year without trying to degen and getting to something crazy. Bitcoin dominance sitting at 51%, 52% right now, I guess, at this point in time. So it looks like Bitcoin is still in a situation where it's trying to recover on the Bitcoin dominance. We do get some alt season happen around this time, so just be mindful. So we do want to see the Bitcoin dominance kind of start going down, and even the ETH dominance going up, right, during that time, right? That's kind of how that whole situation worked. So you get Bitcoin dominance right here. It went down during this period from January to May, and then you have, that was in 2021, and then you get this situation with ETH dominance where it went up, right? And this is like when altcoin season really starts happening. So something I will be paying attention to is going to be the Bitcoin dominance, being that there's more tokens out now than ever. 50% seems to be a pretty good range. So let's just kind of draw a little, let's just draw a little rectangle right here, as a matter of fact. I'm going to draw a rectangle right here in the 58 to 40. Let me see here. 55 to 45. How about we do that? Yeah, 55 to 45. I think this little range right here means we're basically not into an alt season yet. Whenever this does break out of this range and it falls below the 45, I'm seeing alt season happen. So my idea is that we're going to be seeing something like this where Bitcoin ends up coming down, has a 40% dominance, and then all the altcoins are just just flying, right? That's just sharing my thoughts. So something I will be paying attention to, and I hope y'all are all here to be checking it out with me as well. Let me make this 55 again. Whoops. Oh, stop it. Did I draw 2 dots right there? I sure did. Coordinates 55 45. All right, that's gonna be the box zone that I'm gonna be watching though, and we're gonna keep this chart up. We'll be checking it out during the daily streams and stuff, looking at the total crypto market cap as well. We've talked about this in the past. The total crypto market cap is absolutely tearing last time. So you had the halving happen here, you get a massive run up of the entire ecosystem in crypto. This is the total market cap, including Bitcoin, stablecoins, and Ethereum. So when you start getting into the second halving, got a massive run up. Folks, guess where we're at right now? We're at this level where we're going to see a nice little run up again. A beautiful run up again. So this is the total crypto market cap, and how high it goes, I don't really know. I'd be crazy to think that we're going to hit 25 trillion on a market cap. But we've seen crazier shit happen. The Bitcoin, no one even thought it could hit $1 trillion market cap, and now it's sitting at $1 trillion market cap. With the total 2 right now, this is excluding Bitcoin. Again, you can see kind of how it's gone in the past as well. We form a nice base. We get a pre-halving situation where it kind of goes sideways. After the halving, we get a massive run up again. So these are the all-time high levels. You can see it took 518 days here, 549 days here. So I'm assuming we're probably going to go a little bit longer for the all-time high. Maybe it's going to hit 600 days before it actually hits the all-time high. But it is something that I'm paying attention to because it's taking longer and longer each time. And you can see all this as well. So this is going back to the very first time the halving first went down. It was pre-halving. You got a little bit of a run-up, not really too crazy. Some pullback after the Bitcoin halving, massive run-up, all-time high. You do the same situation that happened all the way over here, where we actually ended up in a world where you saw all-time high. We formed a base. It didn't go below that base. And guys, this is what I'm talking with bases. When things do not go back to the previous levels that it was at, it's mega bullish. And that's what crypto does. It forms new floors. And that's what we just need in our ecosystem. We just need higher and higher floors just to continue going. Once again, this is kind of where we're sitting right now. We have a little run up right before the pre-halving. It's exactly as it's been before. We're going to see the Bitcoin halving right around this time in April 15th. How high it wants to go from there, we'll just have to wait and see. It'll probably be 600 days after the halving when we start seeing the previous or the next all-time high is kind of a rough guess, my guys. This is nothing crazy here. Let me actually see. Boop-de-doo. 600 days after the halving. All right, cool. So by November or December of 2025, rough estimate, we should be seeing a all-time high situation for Bitcoin in particular. But for the overall crypto total market cap, excluding Bitcoin on this one, that's kind of what we'd be seeing, right? 600 days is kind of my rough estimate. We'll see how close I am to this playing out. It's something I am paying attention to. We are in an overbought situation. We're probably going to see some pullback going into the halving, as we've done so many times in the past. And then it goes and does a nice little run up. The total market cap, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, still doing nice and decent as well. And I think we saw it hit at this point in time 1 trillion, excluding the Bitcoin and Bitcoin. We excluded Bitcoin and Ethereum, and something I'm paying attention to, y'all. how high does it really go this time, right? I could see us getting into this like $5 trillion market cap because there's just more tokens now than ever. If each of them are sitting on billions at this point for the market cap, because all things like to pump during a bull, you know, I'm thinking we end up sitting in a market cap of somewhere in like the 5 trillion situation, somewhere up here. And I'll just kind of draw a little line. We'll just see how that ends up playing out, right? We'll just leave it like that for now. Looking at the 50, it's actually bouncing off the 50 pretty close to. It's kind of broke below it, bounced off it. So we are in a situation where things are wanting to go bullish, y'all. That's as simple as it gets. We're just not quite there. We're just not that. We're just not just not quite there. We're just slightly off right now, y'all. Simple as that. Yeah, I enjoy looking at the chart too, because I don't have the emotional effect. Like if you know it's going to have an emotional effect or an impact on you, looking at the charts can be dangerous sometimes. And again, with boredom comes like you're at your job and you're like, well, dude, this person's looking at charts. Let me check it out. And you may not even realize it psychologically, but it's affecting you, right? So it's something to keep that in mind. Something I definitely will be keeping in mind and have continued to keep in mind. Love to hear. FOMO money is a whale's feast, 100%. Price prediction on incentive token. I mean, triple digits this cycle. How high, I don't know. Looking forward to the future. I truly believe the RH ecosystem is going to flourish, especially if RH beats the corrupt SEC case. We all getting that bag for sure, 100%. I would love to see how that's going to play out as well. I would love to see that whole case just kind of like come to fruition. You know what I mean? That would just be so freaking cool, in my opinion, as well. Looking at some news going on right now. Bankruptcy court approves the sale on the FTX 1 billion stake. Crazy. What else we got? Kraken files to motion to dismiss the SEC case. Again, like the SEC is crap, man. Everyone's over here trying to fight the SEC because they're just throwing out. They basically just threw spaghetti against the wall, and they're just trying to see what'll stick. World coins and other AI tokens surge following massive Nvidia stock. Speaking of, dude, we actually had a massive pump in the Uni token because they came out with some form of like staking or something like that. So it's up 43% in this little area right here. Again, don't buy green candles, like especially on a pump like this. Like no way. This is 4 hour, by the way. So this is what it looks like on a 4 hour chart. You're like nothing, 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 and then you just see this massive. Nah, bro, that's some dangerous games to be playing right there. Way too many people got in profit way too fast. Like all the people who have been buying down here, if you bought on December of last year, then you'd be sitting on, you know, even right now from this alone, you would still be up, 36%. People are freaking traders, dude. They have such a weird mindset, right? They literally have this like crazy mindset, but people just trade because this is a wild situation where you see a massive pump like this. Let's look at it on a 1 hour. This massive pump, dude, wild. This volume alone was 33 million entered into the ecosystem. It went down to 19, and volume's already dying off and fast. 8 million down to 4 million, down to 3 million. Volume's dying super quick, y'all. So like this is such a dangerous game to be playing, but hey, for each their own. Give me 1 second. I just saw I got a message, so let me actually check that out real quick. Alright, cool. All good there. Uh-oh, Uni tokens taken? Yeah, dude, maybe PulseX next? Damn, that'd be crazy. Sprigs, yeah, dude, that'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? That would be pretty cool. What else we got going on in the ecosystem of crypto, man? What else we got happening? Block led by Jack Dorsey reports huge gains in its Bitcoin portfolio, for sure. Most of them. I think they had a report that like 90% of Bitcoin holders are in profit right now. Because, I mean, you look at it from the time of the all-time high situation where Bitcoin, whoops, that's the dominance one, where Bitcoin is sitting here. And so basically the difference where you know, it's down 23%. So like if you were one of the unlucky people who happened to buy like the exact top and never DCA during this entire dip, during the entire bear, yeah, those are the people who aren't in profit. But for everyone else, this is what the chart looks like for them, right? Like they're just all in profit at this point. And I think there's like a statement out there that says like 90% of, again, Bitcoin holders are currently sitting in profit at this point. So pretty interesting. Someone had said on one of the streams that, if you're wondering why this is here, someone had said on stream that they thought it would hit the previous all-time high before the Bitcoin halving. So I marked it on that day when they said it, and we'll just see how it plays out. It's always fun to kind of check out some of this stuff and see other people's theories as well. And that's, if you're wondering where that chart's coming from, it's not a thing that I believe in. I do believe the price does go back down, even down into this like 36K range and stay within the parallel channel even. I think we could even hit lower, as I've stated in the past, based on the fib retracement levels, right? Even hitting the 618 brings it down into the 38K range, 39K range. If it does decide it wants to go back down lower to the 0.5, which is not uncommon, we'd be seeing 32, and you'd still actually be within the trend as well. So something I am keeping my eye on. That's why you buy and stake, the accumulation boring phase. So when those pumps come, you start DCing out. Not at first, but as those pumps begin to happen at faster rates. Yeah, for sure. Definitely have a plan in place, guys, of taking profit. There's always a good strategy. You know, some people just wait until the cycle top gets around this time and then they just sell the whole portfolio, and then they come back when the bear market is fully situated and then come back and buy the whole portfolio. I mean, whatever plan you got, man, just have a plan and don't regret it. Like, because people did that, right, with Bitcoin. People sold their Bitcoin when it was reaching like this level right here, around 50K. And they were like, shoot, I'll just sell out my bag. And then it went off to run up to 69. And some people FOMO back in because they're like, dude, it was a bad time to sell. People are saying it's going to 100,000, and then it dumped, right? And so you sold, you were in profit, you did good, you bought back in because, you know, it started pumping. It dipped because they were like, it's a super cycle, it's not gonna dip. That's what, I mean, everyone was talking about 100K Bitcoin, it's going to $1 million in the next 5 years, all these things, right? And then they dipped. So as long as you don't have the regret that you're gonna like try to FOMO back in or something like that, selling the top is not a bad play. If you're looking at when the top could possibly be, we just checked it out on the chart a second ago, but it's probably in the ballpark of 600 days after the halving, right? So somewhere in this range, November, December of 2025, based on previous items, probably make a plan in place to take away some profit if you haven't taken profit along this way. I mean, there's going to be so many times for you to be taking profit as well. Like, you don't have to just take it right away. But, I mean, when it hits up here, you know, you've done a 7x, 10x, whatever it is. Do you have any plan in place to take profit? If not, what happens when it hits here and you're up another 10x, 20x, 30x, right? Do you have a plan in place? And if you don't, then, you know, by the time you're like, oh, man, the thing just starts dipping. And it's like you could have even taken profit here and been better, or taken profit here and been better. But you waited because, you know, you either got caught up in the hype, greed took over, you saw your portfolio go to numbers that you'd never seen before in your life. All those things, guys. This is like real situation. This is how it really works in crypto. But my guess is we're probably looking in the ballpark of 600 days after, somewhere in there, November, December of 25. Probably put something in place to check it out. When pump, no one knows. Use the boring depressed time to buy. Learn how to use the DEX, maybe even single side LP. Just use the time to gain knowledge. And also, what will you do with the profits, and how will you play future cycles? 100%. The 5 P's, guys. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. Talk about it all the time, because put something in place, and don't just like think about stuff. Like, write it down, folks. Right? Check it out. Write it down. What else we got on the news, man? I'm just checking out the news over here. Nemesis downfall. We got designer, Portal fever, record 8.6 billion staked for Binance rewards. Crazy. Uniswap price skyrockets after Foundation proposes long-awaited staking rewards. Right, like we've already seen the price on the price on the Uni token. Vitalik wary of pushing too much complexity to Ethereum layer 2s. Vitalik Buterin isn't convinced that all complex features developers want on Ethereum should be built on layer 2 scaling solutions. People use L2s like Optimism, Polygon, Pulse Chain isn't a layer 2, Pulse Chain is layer 1. Optagon, yeah, because they're cheaper, faster than using Ethereum. 3 billion in Bitcoin options expired today. Crazy. Can robot lawnmowers run Doom? What? Axie Infinity founder's wallet hacked for 9.5 million. Fuck out of here, dude. I don't the hacks. Oh, dude, those things they're so corny. Just say you fucking spent the money. I got hacked. It's like I lost my keys on a boat. I don't know what happened. I just have terrible security. Fuck out of here with that, guys. That's so stupid. Let's just fuck it. We're diving in. We're diving in, y'all. Axie Infinity founder Ronin wallet hacked for 9.5 million. They tweeted that his personal wallet on the Ronin chain were compromised as funds were taken and sent to Tornado Cash. Approximately 9.5 million in Ethereum was stolen, routed through Tornado Cash, with the co-founder Ronin and NFT game Axie Infinity tweeting that he was impacted by the attack. All told, about 3,200 Ethereum was pilfered from the network wallets and sent through the network's bridge to 3 separate Ethereum wallets, according to the tweet from security firms. The ETH was routed through Tornado Cash. This has been a tough morning for me. 2 of my addresses have been compromised. The attack is limited to my personal accounts. It has nothing to do with validation or operations of the Ronin chain. I can't do this. Is hilarious, man. I fucking don't believe when people say they've been hacked. Look, go to DeFi Llama if y'all have never checked this out. Go to DeFiLlama.com. You can actually type in DeFiLlama.com/hacks, and you can see like 7.6 billion. Let's just refresh it, man. It's been a while. Has it gone up? Will it count it? It doesn't count it just yet. $7.6 billion have been hacked. Stop doing stupid shit. Like, what the fuck? Yo, I feel no pity for these people. No pity. None whatsoever. Most of them were hacked through DeFi, not even through bridges. So people talk about bridges being the place where people get hacked. For sure, there's a large portion that was hacked, but most of it happens in DeFi by connecting your wallet to nefarious fucking wallet drainers, or approving tokens that allow you to have unlimited spend and then just get absolutely decimated, or trying to claim an airdrop. Like, okay, guys, if you ever see an airdrop in your wallet, if y'all ever see an airdrop in your wallet in general, don't fuck with it. Simple as that. Why? Most of the time you're picking up pennies in front of freight trains. It's not worth it to try to swap those tokens for your core tokens or whatever you want to say you're doing it for, because most of the time it's just picking up pennies in front of freight trains, guys. You're literally about to get barrel rolled by a train trying to swap out $13 worth of a token that you got airdropped, and then you lose hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's the dumbest thing you can possibly do. How do you avoid that, ATX? Well, pretty simple. Don't fuck with it, right? Like, just don't mess with it. All right, let me go back to that story. Too funny, man, because this has me laughing. It's been a tough morning for me. The attack is limited to my personal accounts. Additionally, the leaked keys have nothing to do with Sky Mavis operations. I want to ensure everyone that we have strict security measures in place for all chain-related activities. Yeah, I'm going to call bullshit on that. If you got strict security measures in place, but you don't have strict security measures for your own wallet, I just call bullshit real quick. I'm safe. Like, he was attacked. I'm safe and I will get through this. You just lost money, man. You lost plenty of money. It's your fault, dummy. Confirm the details of the attack. Approximately 3,300 Ethereum total in the wallets that were used. The bridge has no issue and Ronin is not compromised. Extremely misleading title. A wallet has clearly been compromised like what happens on every chains, and the funds are being tornado cash. If the bridge itself has top security, been through many audits, blah, 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 blah. It appears the whale wallet has been compromised, 3,300. Ugh. In a separate tweet, Sky Mavis co-founder reinforced Zerlin's comment, the attack had nothing to do. The bridge has no issues. Ronin is not compromised. A wallet has been clearly compromised. The bridge itself is top security with many audits and goes on pause when too much is being withdrawn. Full on admin keys. Good stuff. Briefly plunged as the funds were withdrawn from the network. The price showed the immediate dip from about 317 to 274, declining by more than 13% in a matter of minutes. It's recovered back up to 297 as of this writing. Oh, jeez. Hold on, what does it say? Comes 2 years after Ronin's own Ethereum bridge was hacked for $622 million worth of crypto. And y'all are going to keep putting your money in this shit? Get burned. Get wrecked. Authorities later recovered about $30 million worth of cryptocurrencies routed through centralized exchanges. Pfft. Jeez, dude. That was funny. That was a funny read. I'm not even lying on that one. That was actually pretty funny. Let's just see what's happening with some coins. No guarantee Bitcoin halving will be favorable for miners. No, usually isn't. Zai Gaming token hits all-time high. Ronin still recovering after founder's wallet was drained. Cool, we saw that. I mean, guys, beyond 69K, what's the real price has to reach to beat its all-time high? WorldCoin, Nvidia, crazy, guys. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Michael Saylor isn't selling Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the exit strategy. All right, cool. All right, let me see what's going on in chat. We'll wrap it up soon. I still got the dodgy link in my Hex wallet, dude. That's what I'm saying. Though I'm sure you're right. He's BSing in order to get away with spending the money. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how it works on taxes and that kind of stuff, right? But whatever. It's just so weird, man. It's so freaking weird that, like, you could be some founder of some token of some coin that's been so many audits and all this stuff, and then you get compromised yourself. Like, I want to know how he got fucked, right? That's what I want to know. What'd you do? What'd you do to screw yourself, man? What'd you do? I would love to know that. What else we got? Yeah, hacks, yields, percents, government, glass nodes. And let me pull up something here. Well, I guess we already talked about the Bitcoin dominance. We don't have to get too crazy with it. One thing I did check out earlier was it did look like Grayscale is almost back above premium situation, right? Let me actually see on the premium discount. Grayscale premium. So yeah, it looks like the Grayscale is not quite back up to premium just yet, but it's getting pretty darn close to the premium on this one too. So definitely pretty interesting how that's going to work out. We're going to see what ends up happening. You can see in the past it has been above the premium. Back in 2021, Grayscale was actually at a premium over Bitcoin. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see what ends up happening this time around, and how it actually ends up all playing out. But yeah, at this point in time, still slightly below premium, right? Around 6%, which isn't the craziest thing ever. All right. Well, shit, guys, that's going to probably wrap up this stream real quick. Do y'all have anything else? Hey, ATX, hope you're doing well. Appreciate you as well. Yeah, don't be clicking random stuff in your wallet, man. If you believe in your assets and potential, start planning sudden wealth syndrome now. Be honest, prepared, like ATX says, with the 5 Ps, 100%. What's your view on using Tetra and the Bear for yield? Dude, I'm so safe, guys. I'll keep it real with you. I don't like fucking with anything out there. I don't trust anyone. I have a very tough time with that situation in general. And one of the things that concerns me is exactly like you just saw, where this dude just lost $300 million. What if the portfolio that you're holding right now, while it gets compromised now, may not be worth $300 million, but what if in the future it would have been worth $300 million? Like, assuming Pulse Chain hits $1 one day for the person who lost 300 million Pulse recently, they fucked themselves. They fucked themselves. And that risk alone isn't worth it to me, right? Not worth it. That's my idea of Tetra. Appreciate all you do as well. Appreciate that. Personally, I think I'll be out with about 60-70% of my positions June 2025. Debt ceiling deal ends. Then hodl the remaining for new market cycle bottom, rebuy, etc. That's what I'm saying. Come up with whatever plan you want right now, folks. Like, you should be taking profit along the way on run-ups. You should be having some strategy set up to say when your portfolio hits certain dollar amounts, you're going to do X, Y, Z. All those things matter, because if you don't set something up in place, by the time you end up in that situation and you don't have a plan in place, you end up doing nothing. And by far, doing nothing, as we talked about before, is the best thing and easiest thing, or it's the hardest thing to do. If you were planning on doing something with the money in the near-term future of your life, and you don't want to have to wait another 4 years to be able to wait for the next cycle to come around again, put some plan in place, man. Like, simple as that. If your portfolio sees, $5 million, putting $100K in your bank is not going to hurt you, right? Just like, whatever that is, I'm just food for thoughts, right? But put something in place, guys. It's really as simple as that. It's nothing crazy, nothing crazy. Best hour of my day. What's good, Mo Digging It? How you doing, my boy? Doing good, man. 10 Top, what's good? How you doing? Folks, that's going to wrap up the stream for today. I hope all of y'all, as always, like, share, subscribe, get the information out with more people. If you're new to the channel and you're enjoying the content, this is something I'll be doing weekly, daily, during the week, I guess I should say. Come back around and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name. Check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change. Possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the